Good morning, everyone. I'm your host, Brandon Lee. This is the Mindful Moment segment right here on Good Morning Sunshine, and I am so grateful to have this guest on with me today. Her name is Sonja Grace, and I'm going to ask you, because you can go by a lot of things, shaman, medicine woman, what do you prefer, healer, what do you prefer to go by?
I'm known as a mystic healer.
As a mystic healer.
Yes, but I'm also known on the reservation as a medicine woman. So
as a medicine woman.
Yeah,
the Hopi Reservation, am I correct?
Yeah.
And the Hopi Reservation.
I'm adopted out there.
Adopted?
Yeah, and I'm married out there too.
I love this. I have so many questions that I have for Sonja, which we're going to debrief on my podcast, Escaping Rock Bottom, and we're really going to go in depth. Yeah. I have to ask you this though, when did you know? Like, when did you know in your life that you had a special gift?
Okay, I was literally born this way. My earliest memory was 2 years old. I was in a crib, and back in that day, the cribs were really heavy. They were super, super like bricks. And I would laugh and lay there and look up, and I could see these angels on both sides of the crib. And they were my guides. They've been with me through all my lifetimes. And they would literally roll the crib across the floor, I kid you not, and bam, it would hit the door. And my mom would freak out and open the door and go, "What are you doing?" And you have this little tiny 2-year-old in a crib. "What are you doing?" I'm laughing because I didn't move the crib. So my whole childhood was bizarre. I mean, I saw spirits in the house. I saw, the relatives who died. I worked on our animals. My dog had tumors on her back. I was doing healing work at 5. I mean, I'm hardwired. I can see, smell, hear, feel, and weirdly taste everything in the spirit realm.
This is so fascinating. Are you able to tap into people who are not believers? Or does it make it more difficult?
It does. This is what I say about non-believers. Your resistance to someone like me and what I'm able to do is your denial of your own sensitivity. They're sensitive people. They've got intuition, but somewhere in their childhood it was shut down.
Right.
Mom and dad said, "Quit crying. Don't do that. You're not allowed to feel that." And so they went up to the brain and became very intellectual and denying all things feeling. And there you have it. They look at someone like me and they want to push up against me and say, "Well, I don't believe you." And I look right back and say, "You don't believe yourself."
Interesting. Mm-hmm. So at what point did you become, because you're in recovery as well, so at what point why did you numb out?
Right.
Was it drugs or alcohol for you? Or was that everything?
It was everything.
Okay, so why did you numb?
It was too much.
I want to talk to you about the importance of healing from trauma, because I'm a huge believer, Sonja, that early childhood trauma is the reason why people numb.
Yes.
Early childhood trauma is the reason why people continue to numb, and that unhealed trauma, right, as adults, it's the unhealed trauma that keeps us using and numbing out when we're triggered.
Correct.
And I want to talk to you about the importance of going back and reprocessing and doing a lot of that reprocessing work. How do you help people who have experienced a lot of childhood trauma go back to that inner child and heal that wounded inner child so that they don't continue to use?
This is the basis of my work. All day long, I'm a healer, and I work on people's hearts, livers, spleens, pancreas, lungs, everything. I work on cancer, illness, disease, but I'm always taking people into what caused the disease.
Right.
Why did this come up in your body? Right. So I go in and do deep processing work with my clients, and I work on, with the inner child, what really happened and what the early trauma is. Because most people can't remember from the womb until 3 years old. And that's when we form and experience all of our emotional wounds. From 4 years old on past into adulthood, we're just cycling. We're running cycles of all this stuff. So to me, it's super important to get people in touch with the inner child, to form a relationship, to become parents to that child, and then to help them learn how to navigate those emotional wounds so they're not getting triggered.
Sonja Grace has written several books. How many books have you written? You've written six books. I got 5 more in order to equal you, and that ain't never happening, Sonja. She is the author of Spirit Traveler, Become an Earth Angel, and Dancing with Raven and Bear. Available on Amazon?
They're available, yes, and Finhorn Press, my publisher. I have an app coming out.
Okay.
It's called Spirit Traveler, and it is going in on a journey to the inside of the pyramid where the 4 essential bodies exist: mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. And you can hover, it's 3D, it's super cool. You can hover over one of the bodies and a menu comes down, and let's say you've got pain on the right side. You're like, why am I hurting over here? So you go down, you're like, okay, let me click on liver. Poof, I'm there. I'm talking to you inside the pyramid, and I'm telling you all about your liver and what you can do. There's meditation, there's portals for all kinds of exploration and working with the inner child. So that is a really great way to get to me if you can't get to me on the phone.
Sonja Grace, thank you so much. And thank you for watching this segment, this Mindful Moment segment right here on Good Morning Sunshine.